In the summer of 1348, a ship docks at Bristol. No bells ring. No officials stop it. No one knows that anything is wrong. The crew look tired. Some are sick. One or two are already dead. This is not unusual. England trades constantly with the continent. Wool goes out. Wine and cloth come back. Ships arrive every week. Men fall ill all the time. No one quarantines the vessel. No one burns the cargo. No one runs. The plague enters England quietly. Within months, it reaches London. London in 1348 is loud, cramped, and alive. Perhaps 80,000 people live inside and just beyond its walls. Timber houses lean over narrow streets, upper floors jutting outward until neighbours can almost touch hands from opposite windows. Waste runs through open gutters, animals move freely, pigs root through refuse. Dogs fight over scraps, and rats are everywhere, in cellars, in granaries, in the holds of ships tied along the Thames. The river is the city's artery. It brings food, people, trade, news, and now disease. At first, deaths seem ordinary. A porter collapses near the docks. A washerwoman dies after a fever. A child doesn't wake up. London has known sickness before. This feels familiar. Along the river, Thomas, a dock labourer, unloads barrels from a ship that arrived days earlier. That evening he complains of a headache. By morning he cannot stand. His wife sends for help. No doctor comes. By nightfall Thomas is dead. Neighbours say he drank too much, or he worked too hard. They will say the same thing again next week, and the week after. Someone in your house gets sick. It starts suddenly. A headache, a fever, a deep bone-aching exhaustion. By the second day, swellings appear. In the groin, under the arms, along the neck. Hard, painful lumps, hot to the touch. They call them buboes. The victim sweats, then shivers. They ramble, they beg for water. You don't know whether to touch them. If you stay, you may die. If you leave, you abandon them. Most people stay. Someone must fetch water. Someone must clean vomit and blood. Someone must pray. Within 3 or 4 days, many are dead. Sometimes sooner. Outside, the city still moves. The market opens. Bakers argue over flour. Bells ring for the hour. A neighbour insists it is only a fever. The priest says sickness has come before and passed. London has survived fire, famine, war. This will pass too. And yet, in a single rented room near the centre of the city, Alice, the wife of a skilled tradesman, sleeps beside her husband John and their 2 children. Their livelihood depends on John working. When John develops a fever, they hope it will pass. Alice sends the children to a neighbour. She stays. 3 days later, John is dead. Alice falls ill the following morning. The children do not return. People do not know this yet, but the sickness is already inside the blood. A flea bites. The flea fed on an infected rat. The rat is dead. The infection travels to the lymph nodes. That is why the swellings form. The body tries to fight back. It fails. Without antibiotics, which will not exist for 600 years, the immune system collapses. Organs begin to shut down. Toxins flood the bloodstream. In some cases, the infection reaches the lungs. Now it spreads through breath. Now, even closeness is dangerous. People demand answers. They do not think in terms of bacteria. They think in signs, in balance, in meaning. Some blame bad air, poison rising from filth, rot, stagnant water. Others blame God. Churches fill at first, then empty. In Paris, scholars are asked to explain what is happening. They consult Aristotle, Galen, astrology. Their conclusion spreads across Europe. A rare alignment of Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars has corrupted the air itself. It is learned. It is serious. It is wrong. But it gives people something to hold. Physicians are summoned, if you can afford one. They wear long robes. Some cover their faces with cloth soaked in herbs. Later, beaked masks will appear, stuffed with spices to ward off poisoned air. Treatment follows medieval medical theory. The body, doctors believe, is governed by 4 humours: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. Health depends on balance. So they bleed patients, they purge them, they lance the swellings. Sometimes the patient dies during treatment. Sometimes they survive in spite of it. Most do not survive at all. Doctors die alongside their patients. So do priests. Robert, a parish priest, does not flee. He continues visiting the sick. He hears confessions. He gives last rites. He moves from house to house. There is no time for sermons. In autumn, Robert collapses after leaving a home near the river. The parish records note his death in a single line: there is no replacement. As deaths increase, the city begins to change. Markets thin. Workshops close. Apprentices vanish. The wealthy begin to leave. They flee to country estates, to villages, to anywhere with fewer people and cleaner air. They carry servants with them. They carry the disease with them too. Before winter, Geoffrey, a wealthy landowner with property beyond the city, leaves London with his household. He rides north, believing distance will protect him. 2 servants fall ill on the road. By the time they reach his estate, the sickness is already there. Geoffrey dies before the year is out. The village buries him, and then buries itself. The poor cannot leave. They remain in the city, sharing rooms, wells, streets. Burial becomes a problem. Churchyards fill. Coffins run out. Bodies are stacked in pits layered with lime. Some parishes lose half their clergy. The bells ring so often they lose meaning. Faith, however, does not disappear, but it strains. If priests die like everyone else, what does that mean? If prayer does not protect the faithful, what is prayer for? Some withdraw quietly, despairing. Others march through the streets, flagellants beating themselves, begging God for mercy, spreading infection as they go. Rumours spread that outsiders are poisoning wells. Violence follows. The city is frightened, grieving, and confused. The first wave does not pass quickly. In London, it lasts for months. By the time it slows, perhaps half the city is dead. Across England, entire villages vanish. Fields lie untilled. Sheep wander unattended. Across Europe, between 1/3 and 1/2 of the population dies. The Black Death does not end civilization, but it changes it permanently. Labour becomes scarce. Wages rise. Old hierarchies crack. And it does not end. It will return, again and again, for generations. Marjorie, a widow of modest means, survives. We do not know how. Her husband is dead. Her children are dead. Years later, she appears in a rent record, paying less than before. Labour is scarce now. The world has shifted beneath her feet. She lives in what remains. Only centuries later will the cause become clear. Fleas carried by rats, and trade routes binding cities together. The same networks that made medieval Europe prosperous also made it vulnerable. London was not unlucky. It was connected. In In the first weeks, no one understood what was happening. They only knew that people were dying faster than they could bury them. They tried faith. They tried medicine. They tried flight. None of it worked. For those inside the city, survival often came down to chance. Who you lived with, who you touched, where you stood. History often feels distant. But for the people of London in 1348, it was not history. It was the air they breathed, the hands they held, and the silence they left behind